Uplift, Conversations with Visionaries, is an inspiring interview series showcasing the journeys of successful entrepreneurs who not only excel in their fields, but also use their success as a force for positive change. It is another episode of Uplift, Conversations with Visionaries. You know I love bringing you these episodes. They are so inspiring. Today we have DeDee with us. We are going to get into your journey as an entrepreneur. I want to welcome you to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Alicia, and for so much heart in hosting this show. I'm so excited to be here.
Always have such inspirational guests, and I know you are inspirational as well. Let's kick things off with the first question that I love to ask all of my guests. What is one of your high points? One of your wins, one of your biggest accomplishments in your business, in your career, something that you're truly proud of?
Yeah, I have to say, starting my business in 2015, after having failed twice in a row prior to that, number one, working my corporate job for 6 months, short-lived, super short-lived, and then went straight into starting my business from scratch, having no business experience whatsoever, having your mother as your business partner for 5 years, and then starting my business. That is the biggest accomplishment anyone can have, having failed twice in a row and really not knowing what I'm really meant to do, which was the quest that I've been on this whole entire time. So starting my business, my coaching business called Fit to Profit in 2015, after my two attempts, my two fails, for not being successful, with the intention to find fulfillment.
We've we've all had those. Man, it's almost cliche now to say you're likely to have a few business failures before you have your first win. And the reason that any cliche exists is because there's oftentimes so much truth in it. It's not a universal truth, right? There are some people who get it right out the gate, and their first one is the one. And that's awesome. Everybody's journey is different. But for anybody listening who is currently struggling, I think it's really important to remember that, first of all, maybe you can turn this one around. It could just be a matter of inner growth and, sticking it out and developing the skills to get there. Sometimes there's just that shift that we need to make, that pivot that we need to make, because we may not actually be on our right path. And oftentimes, once we find our right path, there's just a knowingness within us. It just feels like nothing else could be as right for me as this is. Let's shift gears a little bit, though, because now I want to talk about one of your lower points, something that you went through that knocked you off your feet. We've all had those types of life-changing down moments. It's part of the human experience. Is there one that you had that you would be willing to share with us?
Oh my goodness, absolutely. I have to say there are actually two moments of my life. And the first one was when I was date raped at 15. Okay, so super traumatized as a teenager. Fast forward to when I was 32, and as I have completely recovered from burnout, etc., and things like that, having failed in my businesses, etc., the week of my wedding, I lost my best friend to suicide. And that was also the moment when I discovered that I was suffering in silence with depression and anxiety as well. But honestly, I have to say to this day, those two moments of my life made me who I am today. And because of my quest for wanting to heal myself from the trauma at 15 and then wanting to find fulfillment when I lost my friend and wanting to heal myself, that's why I started the business. So the lowest point in my life, that's why I say now every obstacle is an opportunity, happened to be the blessing in disguise that I needed to launch my business.
There's so much wisdom in what you just shared. There is this inner inner knowing that most of us have if we can just allow ourselves to detach a little bit from the pain of the failure, of the loss, of whatever it is that we're going through. There's something, a little voice
Mhm.
inside that says, keep going. There's got to be a reason for this.
Yeah,
And this is what we keep hearing over and over and over again. I know that that was my journey too, right? My darkest moment became the catalyst for the journey that created an amazing life. And there are all different variations of that. We all have such a unique journey. And for some people, it's health challenges. For other people, it's relationship challenges. For some people, it's financial um, situations. But there's always an opportunity, always, if we're just willing to grow from that experience. So thank you so much for sharing that with us.
absolutely. Yeah, it was definitely turning pain into purpose because that was the moment when I vowed to myself that no one should ever go through what I went through that week. And now I truly choose life and I have the responsibility to heal myself first.
I love
And
it.
that's how everything started and how things started unraveling. Yes, I am grateful for all these, down moments, but they do make me who I am today. So yeah, I'm grateful.
Now that you have achieved a level of success for yourself, how are you paying it forward?
Yeah, I love this question so much because next year we'll be in business for 10 years. So we started 2015, next year is 2025. And this, as of this morning, I have chosen my word or theme for the year is community and connection. And what that looks like for me is literally how can I create more value in the world? And I mean, it starts with me. It starts with the way I talk to my kids. It starts with the way I look at the cashier at the grocery store. But ultimately, what I'm really excited about is that now I am the managing director for an organization where our belief is really truly standing behind women. 1 million women entrepreneurs making at least $1 million a year. And that's what I want to create. It's an opportunity for us to collectively make a difference together. And it's through community and connection. So that's how I am paying it forward. But at the same time, it's kind of selfish too, because I love, love, love being in relationship with people and knowing people by the names, their kids' names and their intentions and like why, what make them tick, why are they passionate. I think that's what God created me to be honest, and to be in community and to be connected to others.
You said something that is so enlightening without even realizing perhaps that you said it. And let's just bring that right front and center for everyone to contemplate as we round out this episode. And that is everything we do is selfish. It's just are you participating as the higher self, the self with the capital S, the spiritual self who is feeling the love and the gratitude and the joy and the fulfillment from how you're giving, how you're being of service, versus the lower self, the self with the lowercase s, which is more of that ego driven need for gratification, for approval, for sense of security, control, whatever it is. I would say, and I do say frequently, that when we're doing something that doesn't feel good to us and we're telling ourselves that we're doing it for someone else, in many cases, we're not really being of service to anyone because the energy that you're projecting onto them is often resentment and negativity. That's not love, and that's not a gift. And that is sometimes being more selfish because you're unwilling to accept and acknowledge that you're doing it from a place of fear, fear of rejection or fear of disapproval or whatever, instead of being in integrity and doing the right thing, which sometimes is not doing the thing.
It's saying no. Thank you. Absolutely.
So, with that, I want to thank you so much for being with us and sharing a little bit of your story and your journey with us today.
Oh my goodness, thank you. The honor is all mine for having the podcast, for having me here. And yes, that's my intention is if we can each consider that we have our own story and to stand behind it and allow all of our experiences to support us in becoming who we need to be. So thank you so much for having me.
And thank you, of course, to everyone who is listening, everyone who's joined us on this journey. You know, we're doing this for you to edutain you, to inspire you, and for our own selfish reasons as well. And so, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode.